So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Zombies and welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're going to take a look at all of the cut content from BO3 Zombies. Maybe some of this stuff would have made this already great game a lot better than what it was. Maybe it's good that some of this content got removed from the game because it might have ruined it. We did take a look at BO4's cut content just a few weeks ago, so if you want to check that video out, I'll leave the link to it down in the description. But let's go ahead and see what stuff Treyarch removed from BO3 Zombies. And having gone through all of it, there was loads of stuff that got removed from BO4, but there isn't that much that Treyarch took out of BO3. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that tells us that from the beginning, most of the stuff in here was already good, so there was no need to remove it. BO3 definitely didn't lack content. We had 2 maps at the start, the normal amount of DLC maps, and then 8 maps with Zombies Chronicles. Okay, perhaps it didn't have as many different game modes like Black Ops 2 did, but BO3 definitely didn't lack. So anyway, the first thing that was removed from Black Ops 3 Zombies was outfits. In some pre-alpha screenshots that we have, it showed us that BO3 Zombies would have had customizable outfits for our different characters. So the Primus crew, Richtof and Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, and the Shadows of Evil characters, Jessica, Fluid, etc., you were going to be able to unlock different outfits for these crew members through gaining XP. Now, why this feature got removed, I don't know, because whether this did end up in the final game or not really makes no difference because it's a customizable thing. It doesn't affect the gameplay side, Easter egg, story, or anything like that. This is purely for the player's experience, and I'm guessing would have been a big part of microtransactions. That was more than likely the main reason why they were thinking of adding something like this into Zombies. But I can't really think of why they would have removed this from the game if they were thinking of doing it. Maybe they just couldn't finish it in time. The funny thing is, this feature would have suited other games a lot better than BO3, Cold War and Vanguard especially, being that we can actually choose our characters, we don't have set casts. But nevertheless, customizable outfits was something that Treyarch were going to implement. They were going to be unlocked through XP, but I'm guessing they would have been implemented somehow into microtransactions as well. To me, it doesn't really make a difference that this got removed from the game, but maybe it would have been a cool feature that would have made this game even better than what it already was. Another feature that got removed from BO3 Zombies was different difficulties. During its pre-alpha phase, the game had a survivor mode, a hunter mode, and an exterminator mode, each difficulty being harder than the last. So I'm guessing survivor would have been maybe easy or regular, hunter would have been hard, and then exterminator similar to veteran. The description for survivor was welcome to the aftermath, time to get your hands dirty, and the description for exterminator being take on the worst dragged from the depths of hell, your chances don't look good. We did eventually get different difficulty levels to zombies in BO4. To be honest, I don't think it's a feature that many people used. You would think it'd be a good addition, but when we did finally see optional difficulties in BO4 Zombies, most people just stuck with the regular one that we were given, so I don't actually think it would have been that useful in BO3. And as we can see, difficulties didn't return in Cold War Zombies or Vanguard, so it wasn't that big of a feature, it wasn't that big of a miss. I never saw anyone complain about it being gone. Whenever I'm playing a game, I always choose the regular difficulty anyway. I don't go easier and I don't go harder just because I like to play the game that the developers intended it to be played. I don't want to play something that's too difficult and get frustrated and not enjoy it. I also don't want to play something that's too easy because you then don't get the challenge. Zombies is already quite a hard game anyway, especially BO3. It wasn't the easiest we've had. I think the difficulty of BO3 Zombies is just right to make it easier or harder. Yeah, to be fair, this isn't that big of a miss, but it was removed from the game. BO3 Zombies was also intended to have utilities called Let It Ride tokens. Basically, during its pre-alpha phase, Let It Ride tokens were an earnable currency within Zombies, which could be earned by exploring the Zombies maps. And when you gain them, you could redeem them to earn Gobblegums, which, funnily enough, in the early stages of development, Gobblegums were actually called Mega Chew Bubble Blast. You might notice a slight similarity here because these Let It Ride tokens were eventually placed with Liquid Divinium, which you also earn just by playing zombies, and then you use them to get Gobblegums. So it's really the same thing, besides from originally it was coins that you would collect. I guess the reason why this was changed is because something like Divinium just makes more sense, whereas a coin is a bit more random. Maybe the thinking was you obtain these coins and then you put them inside of Monty's machine to get Gobblegums. So I'd say that was a change that made sense. But moving on, what you may not know is Shadows of Evil was actually originally supposed to be harder than what it ended up being. The doors were supposed to cost more, the zombies were supposed to sprint faster. Apparently the zombies were supposed to start sprinting on round 2, almost like the starting area on Moon Area 51 or the starting area in Forsaken. Thank God that didn't happen. The Gobblegum machines were supposed to work slightly different, almost similar to the mystery box, with only one of them on the map and would move every time you hit it. A big one that we all know if you've been playing zombies since BO3 was there was supposed to be an Easter egg in Revelations to do with the chicken coop. However, had been cut. That's just one of the many cut Easter eggs that we've had removed from zombies over the years. Sticking on Revelations, in the files for this map, both Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man had lines as the demonic announcer. However, for some reason, the files went unused. A few gobblegums that were cut from the game included Fire and Forget, Power Trip, and 2 others that became board games and projectile vomiting. There were also ones called Brainiac, Center of Attention, Firestarter, Melee Master, and Toxic Vindicator. I have no idea what some of them would have done, others you can kind of guess. Back to Revelations, there was originally supposed to be a power-up on that map that would give you a bad gun, and at the same time would have played the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty quotes. I don't know about that one. Power-ups in zombies are supposed to help us, they're supposed to be good. Why you would ever pick this power-up up if you knew it was bad, I don't know, because it's blue, so you'd know not to get it. Unless it was kind of a random one, where you would either get something good or something bad. But that isn't mentioned in the files, it just says you'll get a bad gun if you pick it up. So I'm not sure what that one's all about. Shadows of Evil originally had a second Apothicon Servant and a Cocoon quest related to it, along with the ability to Pack-a-Punch the Apothicon Servant. This is something that we know about because, just going off memory, wasn't there a glitch that would allow you to Pack-a-Punch the Apothicon Servant, but it couldn't be done legitly? So that's how we figured out that it was supposed to be a thing, because it was possible, just not through proper means. I feel like there was something that came out about that recently, I just can't remember. There is so much going on right now to do with Shadows of Evil and the apparent impossible Easter egg, whatever that is, along with all of the other unsolved and unfound Easter eggs that exist in Black Ops 3 Zombies. One interesting thing I can see on this list is that apparently Galvaknuckles were in the files for Der Eisendrache. Whether or not that means they were supposed to be in that map, I don't know. I do kind of miss the Galvaknuckles in Black Ops 2 now I think about it. They were a really interesting melee weapon because all we have in zombies now is the Bowie knife, and I've never really consistently used that in zombies since, gosh, Doris back in World at War. We used to get some really cool melee weapons. The sickle in Ascension, the Galvaknuckles. We had Takio's katana in BO3, but I would have loved to have seen more stuff like this, so the Galvaknuckles in Der Eisen would have been a nice addition. Of course, most of what we see in zombies, what we get in this game mode, is determined by what we get in the multiplayer or the campaign. That's how it's been since the beginning of time. The weapons in the campaign and multiplayer are transferred to zombies. It isn't the other way around. Treyarch don't make zombies first. They don't make weapons for this zombies mode depending on what era it's taking place in, and then use them in the multiplayer. It is the multiplayer and the campaign that are always made first. So most of what we see in those 2 modes then determines what we see in zombies. So a lot of the weapons that we see and that were cut from the multiplayer, by the way there's loads of them, tens of them, would have also been included in zombies. To be fair, when you find your favourite gun, everybody just uses and sticks to your favourite weapon in zombies anyway, so adding 10 more, would it really make a difference? I don't know. But anyway, that isn't zombies exclusive cut content. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.